Hey there, folks. Welcome back into the Pulse on Technology here on thepulsenetwork.com. I'm your host, Tyler Pybert, and right now, as always, we're joined by Eric Lundquist of Information Week. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and we're going to talk about big data today. And not only talking about big data, we're going to actually, I know you and I could talk about forever, but we're actually going to talk to someone who knows what it's about and is using it.
Well, it's an important topic right now because it's interesting, because it's affecting so many people. But to your point, it's always interesting, it's always important to talk to someone that happens to, well, is in the space that they're consulting, they're teaching some of the other folks out there exactly what's going on in this space right now.
Oh, it's just so much going on. It's not just big data, it's the analysis of big data, it's changing how the financial industry operates, how the media industry operates, and how the scientific community operates, and that's what we'll be talking about today a little bit.
Exactly.
Genomics.
So without further ado, we have to go ahead and welcome in Dr. Gordon Springer, Associate Professor in the Computer Science Department of the University of Missouri. Dr. Springer, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Great stuff.
Well, Doctor, I'm just curious if you could just sort of give us a little bit of where you are right now in your research projects, how they're evolving, and why computer technology is allowing you to do things now that maybe you couldn't even do a year ago.
Well, the technologies are improving every day, and a lot of the problems that we have are exceedingly data intensive. When we start talking about biological objects and of life of various sorts, whether it be plants, animals, whatever, humans, the amount of data that is generated by mechanical means these days is just absolutely enormous. Just here at the university, we generate something on the order of about 5 to 6 terabytes of data per week, all of which has to be analyzed. Well, it can't be analyzed by hand because nobody can read that much data even in a week's time. And the things that we are trying to study are various forms of life. How does life evolve? What causes various kinds of diseases? How can we improve foodstuffs?
Wow.
All sorts of different kinds of things. We have over 600 researchers on our campus alone that are a part of life sciences research just at this university.
So these are big questions you're asking, in terms of what you're researching. And again, let's look back a year in terms of what the capabilities were. And so now you're saying that because of the data and analytic capabilities that you're applying to your research, you're able to make advances that just weren't possible a year or so ago.
Yes, indeed. Over this past year, we've installed a number of new generation computers into our system, but along with that, we have joined into a partnership with a company named Appistry, which is a bioinformatics company in St. Louis. And so being a Missouri company, they are wanting to work with us and we want to work with them in terms of being able to help improve the ability to analyze the data that is being generated through these high throughput sequencers that we have here on campus. And Appistry actually has some software that we now have running in our system here locally, which is able to considerably improve the amount of time, lessen the amount of time it takes to do data analysis of these different kinds of data streams.
Sounds like you're really trying to do a melding of some computer resources you have on the campus along with some outside resources. I mean, could you call that sort of would you call that sort of a cloud architecture where you're using internal resources along with external resources?
Well, yes, indeed. At different points in time in history of computing, we use different words to talk about the same kinds of technologies. Cloud is the verbs and nouns and adjectives that we use today. Basically, we are trying to take the advantage of, well, in our case, we've taken the cloud and brought it inside our house. And so we have sort of an appliance so that if you would be running in the cloud in some sense on Amazon or EC2 or whatever, one of the cloud services, you can think of it being the same thing, except it happens to be locally in our own environment. But the software that we have and are using along with that improves the ability to run data analyses in parallel, which has not been done in the previous times. And so we're really taking advantage of the increasing technologies of increased cores of processors that are being developed, and the various technologies, hardware technologies that are taking place, and then developing algorithms to work on these problems and get all of those processors working together on a single problem.
Well, so that's a big step you've taken. I was wondering if you could just take a minute or two in these closing minutes and talk about maybe a little bit of the future. Where do you see this technology heading? What are going to be some of the capabilities that you'd like to be able to bring in, and what will those capabilities enable in terms of the research that you do on campus?
Well, we are, some of the specific research projects we're working on is things that are associated with what we call food for the 21st century. As the world gets larger in terms of populations, food is always a problem of having enough food that can be available to the population. We also have various hostile environments that have to be dealt with, which are areas that are under drought conditions and various other kinds of things, bugs that can attack plants and whatnot. So as we get into the agricultural areas, we are working on projects that deal with cattle and sheep, pigs, maize, which are corn crops, wheat crops, soybeans. Producing higher quality and better quality foodstuffs is one of the activities that we're trying to identify genes that affect what keeps a plant from dying under a drought condition. So we're looking at all of the basic fundamental scientific things associated with living things.
Well, those would be some great leaps forward, and I know you'd like some better food if you could get access to it, Tyler.
Oh, without a question. And, Dr. Springer, really appreciate you taking time out of the day, jump on the show. It's really great stuff, and I guess all I can say to you is go Tigers, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're on the roll.
Excellent stuff. So there you have it. Really very appreciative of Dr. Gordon Springer taking time out of his day to jump on the show. So for Dr. Springer, for Eric Lundquist, I'm Tyler Popper of The Pulse. Now there's been another great conversation right here on The Pulse on Technology.